Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Shaila, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics. Here I am with my second year CSE students who are going to present their case study. We are going to have it as a discussion. Before moving on to the presentation, introduce yourself.
Myself from CSE department. Bharat Kumar from CSE department.
Myself, Mohammad Rizwan from CSE department.
Hi, I am Gauri Shankar from CSE department.
Hi, I am Jiva from CSE department.
Myself, Bhuvan, CSE department.
Myself, Pasar Kumar, CSE department.
Myself, Rachel from CSE department.
You are prepared with your case study, right?
Yes, yes.
Which topic, which unit?
Okay, I am going to explain from Unit 4. The topic lesson name is testing of hypothesis. In that testing of hypothesis, there is basically two tests. And for a large sample, anyone can explain what the two tests.
There are two types of one is a large sample test, another is a small sample. Large sample is greater than or equal to 30 samples.
Which should be greater than 30.
Greater than or equal to 30
Which is greater than 30?
samples.
Samples?
Should be greater than or equal.
Sample size should be greater than
How do you represent the sample size?
N.
Very good. Then
If the sample is less than 30, it should be small sample, considered as a small sample.
okay. Before that, you say your title is testing of hypothesis. What do you mean by hypothesis?
Hypothesis, we can say this is an inference. Like a statement we have taken for whether it is true or false.
Very good. A statement taken for acceptance, you call it as. Okay. In that, what topic is your case study?
Yes, we are mainly going to focus about like small samples less than 30. In that, we are going to focus on t-test.
T-test tests on?
T-test, I am going to take.
No. My question is,
Yes,
your
ma'am.
T-test is based on
It's test for me.
mean. Okay.
Okay. T-test is basically a test for me, and we are going to check the significant difference between means of two groups. Like we have three different t-tests. One sample t-test. In one sample t-test, we are going to check a mean with a known value. Like the sample mean with a known value. Next, it's an independent sample t-test. Here we are going to check about the means of two different groups. We are going to calculate the two different groups and going to say compare. Next, paired t-sample t-test. In that, we are going to compare the same two samples, but after twice. Like in our case study, we are going to check before the training program and after the training program.
Okay.
Like that, if we check means it's paired sample test. But we take the same sample like case study, we are going to check for one sample test. And what our problem statement, material Jiva will explain.
Okay.
Now I am going to explain about the problem statement. Goal: if a new teaching method arrives, improves the student's scores, the average score is 75 and the sample mean is 25. Sample size, hypothesis.
No. I don't get you. Your statement is your.
Evaluates if a new teaching method
Okay. Your evaluation about new teaching method. Okay. Carry on.
improves student scores.
Mm.
The average score is 75 and the sample is 25.
Okay. Average score of population.
Uh,
Okay. Mm.
Hypothesis, this is the new method significantly improved scores.
Okay.
Next slide.
I'm going to explain about the calculation. So first is the there is a given number of students is 25. So that is a sample size. First we are going to find.
You are taking for 25 students.
Yeah, that's
that you are taking as sample size. Okay.
First I am going to find the mean. So mean is the x bar. So if I am going to find the mean, there is a formula is the sum of samples divided by number of samples. Okay. So sum of samples putting this value and dividing means there is a 1890 divided by 25. We get the value is 75.6. Okay. So
Mean means it's your average, right?
yes.
Adding everything, dividing by number of terms. Okay.
Second is the standard deviation. So standard deviation, we get the standard deviation means there is a formula root of summation xi minus.
Actually, standard deviation you have a separate. Do you have a separate formula? Do we have separate? Do we go separately as standard deviation? No, you find
No,
out
you may
variance. Actually, standard deviation, you get it from variance. Am I right? From variance, if you take square root, that is standard deviation. Okay, continue.
So from the formula is root of summation xi minus x bar divided by n minus 1. So by using this formula, we can find the standard deviation. The standard deviation value is 3.3.
So you have found your standard deviation.
Yes.
Summation of x minus x bar means you call it as deviation, sum of squares of deviation. That is your variance. From variance, if you take square root, it becomes your standard deviation. Okay then. Others?
Setting up the hypothesis. It consists of mainly four main topics: null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, and
What is your null hypothesis? What generally? I'm not
generally it
talking
means there is no significant difference between sample mean and the population.
actual statement.
Actual statement.
Okay.
Here, mu is taken as population mean, mu is equal to 70. So that we completely agree with the null hypothesis.
Okay.
Alternative hypothesis means there is significant difference between sample mean and the population mean. Here, mu is greater than 70 is the alternative hypothesis.
Why you take it as greater than? Why not equal to or less than?
Because it's a one direction.
How do you define, how did you come to know that it is one direction?
Because it's a positive.
They are asking whether your normal teaching process is lesser than your new way of teaching, right? So when they say it is better means you are going to prove it to be greater. Normal, a teaching process is there. When you say it is lesser than the new arrival of teaching process, so when the word comes better or greater, you go with greater. In that case, it becomes one take.